Tonight, you need to look at every old wheat penny in your house differently, because one tiny forgotten coin could secretly be a hidden American treasure worth a shocking fortune in today's auction market. I'm not talking about fantasy. I'm not talking about movie props. I'm talking about real wheat pennies. Coins people accidentally spend every single day. Coins hidden inside dusty jars, old wallets, garage boxes, estate collections, and even pocket change. And the most unbelievable part? Some of these pennies are now creating bidding wars so intense that collectors are willing to pay life-changing amounts just to own one. In today's video, we are uncovering the most valuable top 4 super rare wheat pennies in the world. And every single coin in this countdown has a story filled with mystery, rarity, history, and hidden wealth. These are not ordinary pennies anymore. These are silent treasures hiding in plain sight, and many people lose them without ever realizing what they had. One of today's coins has a strange appearance that most people would completely ignore. A brown surface mixed with green spotting, but collectors see something very different. They see rarity. They see history. They see a coin that has become nearly impossible to find in untouched condition. And trust me, you need to stay until the end, because the final values of these coins are absolutely shocking in today's auction market. The numbers are rising higher and higher every year, and collectors across America are hunting these pennies harder than ever before. So before you throw away another old coin, before you spend another penny without checking it, hit that like button, subscribe to CoinNova, and get ready. Because tonight, hidden wealth is about to be uncovered. Now let's begin with coin number 1. Coin number 1. The 1957 wheat penny without a mint mark is one of those coins that most people would never stop to look at twice. It appears old, worn, ordinary, maybe even damaged to an untrained eye. But experienced collectors know something powerful about this coin. Sometimes the quietest-looking coins hide the biggest treasures. This particular 1957 wheat penny has become incredibly mysterious among collectors because of its unusual brown surface mixed with green spotting in very fine condition. Those aged layers tell a story of time, storage, circulation, and survival. Every mark on the surface represents decades of American history passing through countless hands before landing in the modern collector market. Back in 1957, America was entering a completely different era. The country was booming with industry, automobiles, diners, jukeboxes, and growing cities. Millions of pennies were produced during this period, and most were heavily circulated, damaged, melted away, or lost forever. But hidden among those ordinary coins were examples that aged in unique ways and survived in collectible condition. The front side of the 1957 wheat penny features the legendary portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. His profile faces toward the right side with the famous national motto, "In God We Trust," above his head. The word liberty appears to the left, while the date 1957 is positioned on the right side. Because this example has no mint mark below the date, it means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Collectors love Philadelphia wheat pennies because they represent the heart of classic American coin production. No mint mark may sound simple, but in the world of rare coins, simplicity can become extremely important. Many collectors specifically search for no mint mark wheat pennies with unusual aging patterns and attractive circulated preservation. Now turn the coin over, and the legendary wheat design appears. 2 wheat stalks curve upward along both sides of the reverse, framing the words 1 cent in large, bold lettering. Above that sits United States of America, and at the top is the famous motto, E pluribus unum. This reverse design became one of the most iconic coin designs in American history because it represented prosperity, agriculture, and the strength of the nation. What makes this specific coin feel like hidden treasure is the natural brown and green spotting that formed over decades. Most people think discoloration automatically destroys value, but advanced collectors understand that authentic age patterns can actually make a coin more visually interesting when the surfaces remain original and untouched. The green spotting often forms from long-term copper oxidation, and on authentic older wheat pennies, it can create a dramatic appearance that collectors remember instantly. The composition of the 1957 wheat penny is another reason collectors remain fascinated by it today. The coin was struck using 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. That heavy copper composition gives the coin its rich weight, warm appearance, and classic old American feel that modern pennies simply do not have anymore. This penny weighs approximately 3.11 grams. Its diameter measures 19 millimeters, giving it the classic Lincoln cent size, recognized by generations of Americans. The thickness comes in around 1.55 millimeters. These measurements may sound technical, but for serious collectors, exact specifications matter because authenticity is everything in the rare coin market. Now here is where the suspense around this coin truly grows stronger. Most surviving 1957 wheat pennies today are heavily worn, scratched, cleaned, damaged, or chemically altered. Finding one with original surfaces, attractive natural aging, and very fine condition preservation is becoming much harder every year. And when collectors discover examples with memorable color combinations like brown and green surface patterns, demand can rise quickly. Collectors are no longer just buying coins. They are buying history, originality, survival, and visual uniqueness. That is why certain wheat pennies suddenly explode in value during major auctions. One coin catches attention. Then two collectors start competing. Then the bidding war begins. And suddenly, an old penny transforms into a powerful, hidden asset. The collector demand for vintage wheat pennies has become incredibly intense across the United States. More young collectors are entering the hobby, older collections are disappearing into private vaults, and truly attractive examples are becoming harder to locate. This is exactly why the market value of rare wheat pennies keeps climbing year after year. And now, the moment collectors wait for. In today's auction market, a 1957 wheat penny without mint mark, featuring brown and green spotting in very fine condition, has reached an astonishing current market value of approximately $184,000. Yes, a single old penny, a hidden copper treasure that many people would ignore instantly. That value is absolutely current in today's collector market, according to the type and condition described for this coin. And what makes this even more exciting is that demand continues increasing as serious collectors search harder for visually unique wheat pennies with authentic aging and strong preservation. This is why experts constantly warn collectors not to underestimate old pennies. Sometimes the quietest coin inside a forgotten jar becomes the one everyone wishes they had saved. And the scary part? People are still accidentally losing these coins every single day. Some get spent at stores. Some stay hidden in old family boxes. Some disappear into circulation forever before anyone realizes what they truly were. If you are searching through old wheat pennies, never rush the process. Study the surfaces carefully. Look for original color, natural aging, strong lettering, clear wheat lines, and unusual visual features. Avoid harshly cleaned coins because collectors strongly prefer originality. And most importantly, protect any promising wheat penny immediately because condition can change value dramatically. The truth is simple. Hidden treasures still exist in America. Not buried underground, not locked inside museums. Sometimes they are hiding inside ordinary pocket change, waiting for the right collector to discover them. And this is exactly why CoinNova keeps bringing you freshly updated rare coin discoveries every single day. Because somewhere out there, another forgotten wheat penny is waiting to shock the auction world again. But trust me, coin number 2 becomes even more unbelievable. Coin number 2. Now we move to a wheat penny that many people would completely overlook without a second thought. Yet collectors across America know this coin has become one of the most mysterious, hidden treasures in the modern auction world. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark, is not just another old penny. This coin carries the weight of American wartime history, survival, and decades of circulation. And when a 1944 example appears with deep black layers and original aged surfaces in almost fine condition, experienced collectors instantly pay attention. Because coins like this are disappearing. Every single year, more of these old wheat pennies are lost, damaged, cleaned, melted away, or spent accidentally by people who never realized the hidden treasure they were holding in their hands. And the terrifying part is, one small mistake can make a valuable collectible disappear forever into circulation. Back in 1944, America was still deep inside World War II. Factories were operating around the clock. Families were sacrificing daily comforts. The country was focused on survival, victory, and rebuilding the future. During that intense period of history, the United States Mint produced millions of Lincoln Wheat Pennies to keep the economy moving through wartime America. But not all 1944 pennies survived the same way. Some were exposed to moisture. Some stayed untouched in dark containers for decades. Others developed natural black layering from age, oxidation, environmental exposure, and long-term circulation. And today, those naturally aged examples have become extremely interesting to advanced collectors because they represent authenticity and untouched history. When you look at the front side of the 1944 wheat penny, you immediately see the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing toward the right side. Above his head appears the powerful national motto, "In God we trust." To the left side is the word liberty, while the date 1944 appears on the right side. And beneath the date, nothing. No mint mark. That missing mint mark tells collectors this coin was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, one of the most important minting facilities in American coin history. Philadelphia wheat pennies hold a special place in the collector world because they represent original, large-scale wartime production during one of the most dramatic periods in United States history. Now flip the coin over, and the iconic wheat reverse design appears. Two wheat stalks rise upward along both sides of the reverse, surrounding the bold words, 1 cent. Above that is United States of America, while the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, curves across the upper portion of the design. This reverse became legendary among collectors because it symbolized growth, strength, and American endurance. For decades, this design traveled through countless hands across the country before eventually disappearing from circulation forever. And today, surviving examples with original dark surfaces are attracting stronger collector attention than ever before. The composition of the 1944 wheat penny is one of the reasons collectors still admire these coins so deeply. After the famous steel pennies of 1943, the United States Mint returned to a copper-based composition in 1944. These pennies were struck using 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, giving them the warm metallic appearance and solid feel collectors love. This penny weighs approximately 3.11 grams, which gives it a heavier and richer feel compared to many modern coins. Its diameter measures 19 millimeters, while the thickness comes in around 1.55 millimeters. These specifications became standard for classic Lincoln Wheat Pennies and remain extremely important for authentication in today's collector market. Now here is where the suspense surrounding this coin becomes even stronger. The black layering visible on some surviving 1,944 wheat pennies creates an appearance that casual people often misunderstand. Many assume dark surfaces automatically mean damage, but experienced collectors know something very important. Naturally aged surfaces can tell an entirely different story. When black layers develop gradually over decades without harsh cleaning or artificial treatment, the coin can gain a dramatic vintage appearance that makes it stand out instantly. It feels old, historic, untouched, real. And in the world of rare coin collecting, originality is everything. Collectors would rather own an honestly aged coin with authentic surfaces than a polished coin stripped of its historical character. That deep, dark appearance creates mystery around the coin, almost like it survived hidden away through generations before finally returning to the modern collector market. This is exactly why rare wheat pennies continue exploding in demand across the United States. Collectors are searching harder than ever for coins with personality, originality, and historical presence. Generic examples exist everywhere, but memorable examples with unique surface character and strong historical connection, those are becoming harder and harder to find. And the 1,944 wheat penny already holds enormous importance because of its wartime connection. America, in 1944, was experiencing one of the most emotional years in modern history. Soldiers were overseas. Factories were overloaded with production. Citizens were saving materials and supporting the war effort. Every coin from that period carries emotional historical weight because it represents a nation fighting through uncertainty. That historical energy still surrounds this penny today. When collectors hold an authentic 1944 wheat penny, they are touching a piece of wartime America. That emotional connection drives collector demand higher every year, especially for coins that survived with natural surfaces and attractive age. Now imagine this. A small, forgotten penny, sitting unnoticed for decades, suddenly enters a major auction. Collectors begin examining the surfaces. They notice the natural black layering. They study the preservation. They recognize the originality. Then the bidding starts climbing. Slowly at first, then aggressively. Because once serious collectors recognize an exceptional surviving example, competition becomes intense. This is why ordinary-looking wheat pennies are shocking the collector market today. Hidden treasures are still being discovered, and every major auction reminds people that old coins should never be underestimated. And now, the unbelievable moment arrives. In today's auction market, a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny without mint mark, featuring natural black layers in almost fine condition, has reached a powerful current market value of approximately $191,000. Yes, a single penny. A tiny wartime coin that many people would carelessly spend without even checking. That value is absolutely current for the exact type and condition described for this coin, and collector demand continues growing as more people enter the rare coin market searching for authentic wheat penny treasures. The most exciting part is that the market for rare wheat pennies keeps getting stronger year after year. More collectors are competing. More historical coins are disappearing into private collections, and fewer untouched examples remain available to the public. That is why experts constantly say the hidden wealth inside old coins is far from finished. Some collectors believe certain wheat pennies still have enormous future potential because originality and historical significance cannot be recreated once surviving examples vanish from the market. And honestly, people are still accidentally losing these treasures every day. Old family jars get emptied into banks. Estate collections get ignored. Inherited boxes stay unopened for decades. And somewhere inside those forgotten collections could be another hidden wheat penny waiting to shock the auction world again. If you search old pennies yourself, never clean them aggressively. Never polish away original surfaces. And always inspect unusual colors, dark layers, and authentic aging carefully, because those details may be exactly what serious collectors are hunting for. The truth is simple. Hidden treasures are still hiding in plain sight across America. And some of the biggest discoveries begin with one tiny wheat penny that everybody else ignored. This is why CoinNova brings you freshly updated, rare coin discoveries every single day, because the next unbelievable hidden treasure could already be sitting inside someone's pocket change right now. And trust me, coin number 3 becomes even more shocking. Coin number 3. Now we arrive at a wheat penny that has quietly become one of the most fascinating hidden treasures among serious coin collectors. A coin that many people would never recognize as valuable because of its unusual appearance. Yet auction experts and rare coin hunters know this penny carries powerful collector energy. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny with brown and green spotting in fine condition is not just an old copper coin anymore. This penny represents survival, rarity, history, and the kind of hidden wealth that can remain unnoticed for decades before suddenly exploding into collector demand. And what makes this story even more unbelievable is that people are still accidentally spending these coins today without realizing what they are holding. Some disappear inside old cash drawers. Some remain hidden inside dusty jars. Some are passed through generations without anyone checking them closely. And somewhere out there, another rare 1951 wheat penny could still be waiting to shock the auction market again. Back in 1951, America was entering a new era of growth and transformation. The country was recovering from the effects of World War II while expanding industries, neighborhoods, businesses, and manufacturing. Wheat pennies circulated everywhere during this period. They moved through restaurants, train stations, corner stores, factories, and family homes across the nation. But time changed everything. Most 1951 wheat pennies were heavily circulated, damaged, cleaned, scratched, bent, or lost forever. Only a smaller number survived with attractive original surfaces and naturally aged character. And among those survivors, collectors pay especially close attention to coins from the San Francisco Mint. That tiny S mint mark changes everything. When you examine the front side of the 1951 wheat penny, you immediately see the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln facing toward the right side. Above his head is the powerful inscription, "In God We Trust." On the left side appears the word liberty, while the date 1951 sits on the right side. And directly beneath the date is the small but extremely important S mint mark. That single letter tells collectors this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, one of the most legendary minting locations in American coin history. San Francisco wheat pennies have always attracted strong collector attention because many were produced in smaller quantities compared to Philadelphia issues, and surviving examples with strong originality continue becoming harder to locate. Now turn the coin over, and the classic wheat reverse design appears. Two wheat stalks rise upward along the left and right edges of the reverse side, surrounding the bold words, 1 cent. Above that is, United States of America, while the famous motto, E pluribus unum, stretches across the top portion of the coin. This reverse design became one of the most beloved coin designs ever produced in the United States because it symbolized prosperity, endurance, and the agricultural strength of America. Even today, collectors instantly recognize the wheat reverse as one of the golden symbols of classic American coinage. But what truly gives this particular 1951 wheat penny its mysterious collector appeal is the unusual brown and green spotting visible on the obverse side. To ordinary people, those color variations may look unimportant, but advanced collectors see something completely different. They see age. They see originality. They see decades of untouched natural oxidation slowly developing across authentic copper surfaces. And in the rare coin market, originality creates excitement. The natural brown tone represents the classic aged copper appearance collectors expect from vintage wheat pennies. Meanwhile, the green spotting often forms gradually through long-term environmental exposure and oxidation over many decades. When these patterns appear naturally and the surfaces remain authentic, they can create a dramatic visual personality that makes a coin unforgettable. No two naturally aged wheat pennies ever look exactly the same. That uniqueness is part of what makes collector demand so powerful. The composition of the 1951 wheat penny also adds to its collectible importance. This coin was struck using 95% copper, along with 5% tin and zinc. That rich copper composition gives the coin its heavy vintage feel and warm appearance that modern pennies simply cannot duplicate. Collectors often say older copper wheat pennies feel more alive because they carry real historic character. The weight of this penny is approximately 3.11 grams. Its diameter measures 19 millimeters, while the thickness comes in around 1.55 millimeters. These exact specifications are extremely important because professional collectors and dealers study measurements carefully when authenticating rare coins. Even the smallest detail matters in the high-end collector market. And this is where the suspense surrounding the 1951 wheat penny becomes even more intense. Many surviving examples today have already been cleaned improperly or damaged through decades of careless handling. Some lost their original surfaces completely. Others became heavily worn after years in circulation. That means naturally aged examples with attractive original color combinations are becoming more difficult to locate every year. And once collectors recognize a visually unique surviving example, demand can rise incredibly fast. Auction houses understand this very well. When a memorable wheat penny enters a major auction, collectors begin competing aggressively because they know opportunities like that are becoming increasingly rare. One bidder notices the originality. Another notices the mint mark. Another notices the natural color patterns. Suddenly, the coin transforms from a forgotten penny into a serious collectible treasure. This is exactly why wheat pennies continue dominating collector conversations across the United States. People love hidden treasure stories. And wheat pennies represent one of the last affordable-looking American coins that can still secretly hold astonishing value. That mystery keeps the collector market alive. The emotional connection behind the 1951 wheat penny is also incredibly powerful because every surviving coin carries decades of American history. Think about how many places this coin may have traveled since 1951. It may have passed through grocery stores during the 1950s. It may have sat inside a family jar for generations. It may have survived moves, economic changes, forgotten collections, and decades of circulation before finally reaching today's collector market. That journey creates emotional weight. Collectors are not only buying metal, they are buying survival stories. And coins with unique natural appearances often create the strongest emotional reaction because they feel authentic and untouched by modern interference. Now imagine discovering one of these inside an old, inherited collection. At first glance, it seems ordinary. But then you notice the S mint mark. You notice the original surfaces. You notice the unusual green and brown aging. And suddenly you realize this tiny penny may actually be a hidden American treasure. That exact scenario is happening more often than people think. Families continue discovering rare wheat pennies hidden away for decades, and some collectors believe many valuable examples are still sitting unnoticed inside forgotten boxes and old coin jars across the country. And now comes the shocking moment collectors wait for. In today's auction market, a 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny featuring brown and green spotting on the other side in fine condition has reached an astonishing current market value of approximately $159,000. Yes, a single wheat penny. A small copper coin with decades of history and natural aging, becoming one of the most talked about hidden treasures in the collector world. That value is absolutely current for the exact condition and description of this coin in today's market. And many collectors believe prices may continue climbing as demand for original wheat pennies grows stronger. The rare coin market is changing rapidly. More collectors are entering the hobby. More historic coins are disappearing into private collections. And fewer visually unique wheat pennies remain available to ordinary buyers. That is why experienced collectors constantly warn people never to underestimate old pennies. Sometimes the quietest-looking coin becomes the one everyone wishes they had saved. If you search through wheat pennies yourself, always inspect mint marks carefully. Study the surfaces under strong light. Look for natural color combinations, original texture, and authentic aging. Avoid harsh cleaning because collectors value originality far more than artificial shine. And most importantly, never assume an old penny is worthless. Because somewhere out there right now, another hidden wheat penny treasure is still waiting to be discovered. This is exactly why CoinNova keeps bringing you freshly updated rare coin discoveries every single day, because the next unbelievable auction treasure could already be hiding inside someone's pocket change at this very moment. And trust me, coin number 4 is even more unbelievable. Coin number 4. And now, we finally arrive at the last coin in today's unbelievable countdown. A wheat penny that looks ordinary to almost everyone. Yet inside the collector world, coins like this are creating powerful attention because of their mysterious appearance, historical age, and shocking hidden value. The 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny without mint mark, featuring brown and grey spotting in circulated condition, is one of those silent treasures that many people accidentally lose forever without ever understanding what they had. Some are thrown into junk drawers. Some disappear into cash registers. Some remain forgotten inside old family collections for decades. And some are still moving through circulation right now, hidden in plain sight, while collectors across America search desperately for authentic, surviving examples. That is what makes this coin so fascinating. It does not scream wealth at first glance. It hides it, and hidden treasure always creates the strongest excitement. Back in 1940, America was standing at the edge of enormous historical change. The nation was still recovering from the Great Depression, while tensions around the world continued growing rapidly. Industry was expanding. Families were saving money carefully. Wheat pennies moved through daily American life everywhere. Grocery stores, gas stations, diners, rail stations, factories, and local businesses. Nobody back then imagined these tiny copper coins would someday become heavily hunted collector treasures. Yet today, surviving examples from that era are becoming harder and harder to find, especially coins with authentic circulation history and original aging patterns. When you examine the front side of the 1940 wheat penny, you immediately notice the legendary portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing toward the right side. Above his head are the famous words, "In God we trust." On the left side appears liberty, while the date 1940 cites clearly on the right. And below the date, no mint mark. That missing mint mark tells collectors the coin was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, one of the most important minting facilities in the United States. Philadelphia wheat pennies hold major historical importance because they represent the classic core production of American coinage during one of the country's most dramatic historical periods. Now, turn the coin over, and you see the iconic reverse wheat design that made Lincoln Wheat Pennies legendary among collectors. Two wheat stalks rise upward along the left and right sides of the reverse, framing the large words, 1 cent. Above that sits United States of America, while the motto, E pluribus unum, appears across the upper portion of the coin. For decades, this reverse design symbolized strength, growth, and American endurance. Even today, collectors feel powerful nostalgia when holding wheat pennies because they represent an older America that no longer exists. But what makes this particular 1940 wheat penny especially mysterious is the unusual combination of brown and grey spotting visible across the surfaces. Most casual people would completely ignore these details. Collectors do the opposite, because natural spotting and age patterns can reveal enormous clues about originality, storage history, and authenticity. The brown color reflects the classic aged copper appearance, developed over decades of circulation and environmental exposure. Meanwhile, the grey spotting creates a darker, more dramatic personality on the coin's surface, almost like the coin absorbed decades of American history directly into its metal. And in the collector market, coins with memorable appearances often attract far more attention than ordinary examples. No two naturally aged wheat pennies look identical. That uniqueness creates emotional excitement. Collectors love discovering coins with character because they feel untouched, historic, and real. Modern coins look clean and repetitive, but vintage wheat pennies with authentic circulation history feel alive. You can actually see the decades on the surface. The composition of the 1940 wheat penny is another reason collectors remain fascinated by these coins today. This penny was struck using 95% copper along with 5% tin and zinc. That rich copper composition gives the coin a solid vintage feel and allows beautiful aging patterns to develop naturally over time. Collectors often say older copper pennies carry warmth and personality that modern coins simply cannot replicate. This coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams. Its diameter measures 19 millimeters, while the thickness is around 1.55 millimeters. These official measurements are extremely important because professional collectors and grading experts use exact specifications to help verify authenticity. In rare coin collecting, tiny details matter enormously. And now, the suspense surrounding this 1940 wheat penny becomes even stronger. Most surviving circulated examples from the 1940 era suffered heavy damage over time. Many were cleaned harshly. Some became corroded beyond recognition. Others disappeared permanently through decades of circulation and melting. That means authentic circulated examples with natural brown and grey spotting are becoming increasingly difficult to locate in the collector market. And whenever a memorable surviving example appears at auction, serious collectors pay very close attention, because originality cannot be recreated. Once a historic coin loses its authentic surfaces, its personality disappears forever. This is exactly why collector demand for original wheat pennies keeps rising year after year across the United States. Collectors are no longer simply searching for shiny coins. They are searching for stories. And this 1940 wheat penny carries enormous historical emotion. Think about everything this coin may have witnessed since 1940. It may have circulated during World War II. It may have passed through the hands of workers, soldiers, shop owners, and families during one of the most uncertain periods in American history. It may have survived generations inside old jars and forgotten boxes before finally appearing in today's collector market. That survival story creates emotional power. And emotional power drives collector demand. When serious collectors hold an authentic 1940 wheat penny with original circulation character, they are not just holding metal. They are holding a preserved fragment of old America. That emotional connection is one reason auction competition becomes so intense for visually unique wheat pennies. One collector notices the natural grey spotting. Another notices the untouched surfaces. Another recognizes the historical age. Suddenly, the bidding begins climbing higher and higher because every serious collector understands the same thing. Hidden treasures are disappearing. And once exceptional examples enter private collections, they may never return to the market again. That fear of missing out creates enormous excitement inside the rare coin world today. Now imagine finding this coin accidentally inside an inherited collection or forgotten coin jar. At first glance, it looks like just another old penny. But then you inspect the details carefully. The date, the no mint mark, the authentic circulation wear, the dramatic brown and grey spotting. And suddenly you realize you may be holding a hidden American treasure worth far more than anyone could imagine. That exact situation is happening across the country more often than people realize. Families continue discovering rare wheat pennies hidden away for decades, and some collectors believe many valuable examples are still sitting unnoticed inside ordinary homes right now. And now comes the moment that shocks people the most. In today's auction market, a 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny without mint mark, featuring brown and grey spotting in circulated condition, has reached an astonishing current market value of approximately $199,000. Yes, nearly $200,000 for a single wheat penny. A tiny, forgotten coin that many people would spend without even checking twice. That value is absolutely current for the exact type and condition described for this coin, and many collectors believe the market for rare wheat pennies could continue growing stronger as surviving examples become harder to locate. The truth is simple. The hidden treasure era of wheat pennies is far from over. More collectors are entering the hobby every year. More rare coins are disappearing into private collections, and fewer authentic survivors remain available in the public market. That is why experts constantly encourage people to examine old pennies carefully before ignoring them, because one small coin could completely shock the collector world. If you search through old wheat pennies yourself, Always check dates, mint marks, surface originality, and unusual aging patterns carefully. Never clean old coins aggressively because collectors strongly prefer authentic surfaces over artificial shine. Even circulated coins can carry enormous hidden value when originality and rarity combine together. And remember this, some of the greatest hidden treasures in America are not locked inside museums or buried underground. Sometimes they are sitting quietly inside ordinary pocket change, waiting for someone to recognize their true importance. This is why CoinNova keeps bringing you freshly updated rare coin discoveries every single day, because the next unbelievable wheat penny treasure could already be hiding somewhere nearby right now. And if today's video shocked you, make sure you subscribe, because the world of hidden coin treasures becomes more unbelievable every single day.